welcome to the Tom's River Show. Pat O Melia here. You there? Pat O Melia with his ever-present container of coffee. Styrofoam. I don't know if you'll be getting that pretty soon. I don't know. Yeah, next week. Yeah, the next week. Yeah, next week the plastic bag ban starts. I did a hack on it. Remember I was telling you I'm gonna unload my shopping cart at ShopRite, put it on a conveyor, and then reload everything in the shopping cart, and I'll bag it at the car. I'm not walking around with 12, 14 bags like I'm a bag lady or something like that. My wife did say if we use the van, we could just take the cart and put the cart in the van, and then just bring it home. But somewhere along the line, I got to put it in bags to bring it up the steps. But we'll do more on that as the bag ban begins. And the thing, listen, if your store is under 2,500 square feet, you're exempt from all this. So it's really just supermarkets, Home Depot, Target, that sort of thing. And any kind of plastic bag is better than, any kind of bag is better than what you get at Home Depot. So anything would be an improvement there. COVID, the pandemic has been declared over. We're out of the pandemic phase, according to Fossey. Only 2.5 years. Now it's time to look back. How did we handle it? What are the pros and cons? Did we do a good job with this? There's a lot of questions. And it'll take years and years to look back and investigate, research, and analyze how we handle COVID-19. You know, from the beginning to shutdowns, to stimulus checks, to injections and vaccines and masks and all that. You know, it'll take a while to go through all the data and what was the best way of handling that. But on a side note, COVID-wise, China is still in a huge lockdown. I think it's Shanghai. I mean, they're locked in their apartments. They can't come out. They're screaming. They're starving over there. You know, they're pretty extreme there in China. Today, don't forget, everything on the bottom of the screen, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and don't forget our live stream. That is our base streaming network where we archive all of our programming, and there's a lot of other programming there also. It's just not my shows there. There's a ton. Live stream, really, we should start calling it Vimeo. Vimeo bought live stream years ago. It's hard for me to change the verbiage there, but the company is called Vimeo now. And there's a lot of things on there. Today, we're going to talk about weed and off-duty cops. My buddy, Mayor Steve Fuller of Jersey City, has started a whole controversy on this. We're going to talk about Tom's River hiring the former councilwoman, Maria Maruca, and a bunch of quick hits. That's quick little topics. You're watching the Tom's River Show. I'll be right back. Ferns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Ferns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Ferns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. We're back, Tom's River Show. Pat O Melia here. If you've been listening to Bill Spadier and NJ 101.5, Dennis and Dominski and Judy, Dennis and Judy, Dominski and Doyle, Steve Travelise, all those guys. I catch most of their shows during the day. I'll put it on the radio in the car if I can get that frequency, or when I'm in the office with Alexa. I watch and listen to everything. I'll listen to 1010 Wins, 101.5. I watch all the news shows. I read a lot of newspapers every day. So I try to stay informed. Whether you're left-leaning, right-leaning, all that stuff, just give me the story, give me the facts, and I'll make a decision. Recently, we have legalized marijuana in New Jersey. There are various dispensaries, retail dispensaries, starting to sprout up along in the state, except in Tom's River, where, we don't want it here. Well, Tom's River is going to be having people smoking pot there. Tom's River is going to have to deal with all the nuisance of the marijuana, all the problems that are going to occur, and there's always some problem, just that Tom's River is not going to appreciate any money. Short-sighted. I argued with that. We could have used the money for seniors, reduce property tax, whatever you wanted to use it for. And there obviously is heavy-duty money involved in the marijuana. Because in Hoboken, after the dispensaries were approved and applications were approved, the municipality went to the retailers for the marijuana and said, hey, can you do a few other things? Hire cops, make donations to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and the food banks, and it came out to like $300,000 a year for each one of these dispensaries. They're so much money that these dispensaries, retail operations, immediately agreed in a heartbeat to add $25,000 a month to their overhead. So there's a lot of money, and there's a lot of 3% that Tom's River is going to miss out on. But right now, after 18 months after we legalized it, we didn't weed out all the problems with legalized marijuana. And one came to the attention of the mayor of Jersey City, Stephen Fulop, where he is going to bar off-duty cops with the threat of dismissal, termination, if they smoke legal marijuana off-duty. The problem is the THC, is it? Because I know I was calling it PCP recently. THC, it stays in the blood system for about 30 days. And there's no level to tell if you were smoking pot on duty, off duty, yesterday, or 30 days ago. So that is almost a defense attorney's dream to say, we want to test him for marijuana. If there's marijuana in his blood system, it could taint the whole case. So that is Mayor Fulop's concern, and the unions are fighting it. But right now, Mayor Fulop is getting a lot of attention on this. Other mayors have followed along. In Ocean County, a cop, Mike Masternardi, your sheriff, is also following along with that. Until we can figure out how to deal with legal marijuana, and again, 18 months after we approved this as voters, nobody vetted this out. Nobody thought about it. And the problem is, it's still considered a Schedule I narcotic on a federal level. And police officers, when they take their oath and they're issued that gun, they're under the firearms, tobacco, and alcohol. And that's federal. So they have to abide by federal law. So Mayor Fulop is correct in that off-duty cops can't be smoking marijuana. Now, Jersey should have weeded this out, pun intended there, but really it goes back to D.C. D.C., Washington, should have figured out how these states can handle this. Because you go to these retail establishments to buy legal marijuana, you can't use your credit card. You can't use your app, your Apple Pay or PayPal or whatever, because I'm going to assume they don't have banking privileges at TD Bank, Sovereign Bank, whatever, Santander Bank, Wells Fargo, because they're selling what is considered federally a Schedule I narcotic. So that's the reason you got to use cash there. There are other professions where that could be a concern. Trucking. If you're a truck driver, you're under the federal DOT. So you can't be smoking any weed either. Plus, in Jersey, where it's legal to have marijuana, you go to Pennsylvania, where it's legal to have a little bit of marijuana. Not a lot of bit of marijuana. You get a little over an ounce in your truck when you're driving through Pennsylvania, you got a federal offense on you. You got a felony. So and then we got, I think it's Vermont. I think Colorado is legal on pot. New Jersey now is. New York is. I think it's time Washington, through our Congress people and our senators, Bob Menendez and Cory Booker in Jersey, figure out how can we handle this, and can it help federally? Just think of all the money right now. Jersey's collecting the money. They're getting money on all the ends. They're getting it on a retail operation. They're getting on the wholesale operation. Where there is a plant, they're getting money on it. The feds can do that too. And I think eventually, if it becomes all legal all the way around, there won't be an illegal market. And people say, oh, no, it's still, what I'm told, an ounce of legal pot is like $400. An ounce of illegal pot, where you've been getting your pot all along, is about $180. Eventually, because it will be pure, there'll be no fentanyl in there, that sort of thing, people will migrate over to the legal weed. And if you wonder if that's true, look at the New Jersey lottery. At one time, the pick three was the bookie. And every bar had a bookie, every delicatessen, every little corner store had a bookie in there, and you played your numbers. And no matter what it was, you won $500. Unlike the crappy pot they have now with the lottery, where you hit it. It depends on the pool. You may get 200, may get 340. In the old days, you got 500, and I mean the old days when 500 was really a lot of money. It eventually knocked all the bookies out. Legalized sports betting in New Jersey. Now, the last bastion of bookieism was football. Most of these guys are already gone because you can go to DraftKings, FanDuel, yeah, right on your phone, make your bets. They're going to get your money to you in 2 hours, according to FanDuel. I know when I hit it, it took longer than 2 hours, but you got your money within a day or so. The future is in the legal marijuana. The ramifications going to take years to figure out. Because you hear horror stories coming out of Colorado. That's all got to be worked out. You know, do you want to sell it by school? Because we have a situation in Jersey City where there's a retail operation opening close to County Prep and St. Peter's University. There was a lot of controversy there. It was eventually awarded. There's still a lot of weeding out we need to do with legal marijuana, and we'll see where that goes. But as I said earlier, Toms River has missed the entire boat on that. Lakehurst has legal marijuana, and Belmar does, and Toms River South does, but not Toms River itself. All right, we're out of time for this segment. We're going to break for commercial. You're watching the Toms River Show. I'll be right back. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back, Toms River Show. Pat O Melia here, you there? Hopefully I'm informing you, entertaining you, educating you. Don't forget everything on the screen. Don't follow us and all that stuff. Toms River, Mayor Mo Hill has recently hired via ordinance, resolution rather, former councilwoman Maria Maruca as the Director of Health and Human Services for Toms River. Now, first of all, there is probably not a bigger supporter of Maria Maruca in Toms River besides me. One of the reasons I am in Seaside Heights in Toms River is Maria Maruca. She brought me into town down here 2008, 2009, and we started producing shows on the boardwalk with the Shore Show, which should start production again on the boardwalk in May here. She was the one that brought me down to Seaside, and we worked on the boardwalk. Then we eventually opened the studio in Seaside Heights. Then, the COVID came, so we're questioning how long we're going to keep the studio in Seaside Heights now with COVID and inflation now rearing its ugly head. But due to my involvement, my kids bought a piece of property in Seaside Heights, two-family home, two-car garage, big piece of property. And boy, did they hit it at the right time, man. So their house is worth probably at least twice what they paid for it, possibly 3 times. So Maria Maruca, and she is a tremendous public servant. Maria, she was great here with the BID on the boardwalk, and she was a tremendous council representative for Toms River. Now, unfortunately, she lost to Councilman Lamb in the last election, and as far as I know, Lamb is doing a pretty good job. So I think he's holding the prestige of that ward position that Maria Maruca certainly helped establish. I was hoping she was going to come back to Seaside Heights. I was one of the people that told Mo, I said, we should find something for Maria in Toms River. But like I told Mo, I said, I kind of hope she comes back to Seaside Heights and takes over the BID again. She is an extremely capable woman. I mean, she's an organizer. She can get things done. That said, or as people say, but as far as I know, Maria Maruca has Zippo experience in health and human services for the position she's been hired as the director. Again, she is extremely capable. I know in that position, given a period of time, the light bulb will go off over her head, and she will probably want to be one of the best directors any Health and Human Services Department could ever want. But should she have been hired at $136,000 a year for a position she has Zippo experience in? That's the issue here. She's not qualified for it. Now, I know Mo Hill has a tremendous amount of respect for the accomplishments of Maria Maruca. She is presently the manager of the Department of Motor Vehicles in Toms River here. I think her appointment is going to expire soon, so she'll be available to work at the Department of Health and Human Services. But the thing is, when you have Zippo experience, as capable as Maria Maruca is, as capable as she is, should she be brought in at the top salary of $136,000 a year? That's the question here. Had she been brought in to Toms River's health department, say as the assistant director of Health and Human Services, say at a salary, I don't want to throw your money around because you're the one paying the Toms River budget, say at a salary of $75,000. I don't think many people would think twice about it, but it's $136,000, not counting all the benefits that are involved. So after all said and done, what are we looking at? 180, 190 for somebody who is not qualified for that position. That's the issue. Again, as I said earlier, you put Maria in there with a good support team around her, she will eventually get the hang of it. I don't know how long that hang's going to take, but eventually that light bulb's going to go off, and she's going to be very capable. What's interesting with the hiring Maria Maruca right now at this position and at that salary is what is transpiring on the other side of government with the County of Hudson. The FBI is investigating the county of, County of Hudson? County of Ocean. The FBI is investigating the actions of the Commissioner Board and the County of Ocean over their hiring practices. They have subpoenaed all sorts of hiring records, promotions, raises. There is a speculation. The root of the investigation is kickbacks, political favors. You get a job, you buy a lot of tickets to a political event, whatever the case is. There's where the investigation is going. And it's recently been determined that there is a thing called the Blue Book. The Blue Book, where only idiots write down everything they did that they might be questionable and or illegal, that you would write it down. You don't do that. You don't leave what's called a paper trail. But the problem in Ocean County, it's been a kumbaya little group all these years. There was all Republicans in there. We all vote together. We all like everything together, and nobody argues. Well, now there's some dissension there. Brought to you courtesy of Jenny Haynes, it appears, where there was a problem with Carl Block, who was a very capable business administrator for Ocean County. I think I spoke to Carl a couple of times, nothing in great detail, but he has the utmost respect of everybody in Ocean County government. And usually in a position like that, you want somebody who's got a brain. In Hudson County, we got Abe Anton. Abe Anton is the smartest guy in the room. Carl Block, I'll assume in Ocean County, is the smartest guy in the room. With all the questionable hiring practices, raises, and alleged kickbacks that the FBI is investigating, not very far from Toms River's Town Hall, do you want to have the optics of hiring somebody who's not qualified for Health and Human Services? As far as I know, she's not. Very capable woman, but not qualified for a salary of $136,000 a year to be the director of Health and Human Services. That is what we call bad optics. I'm not going to say it's a bad hire because, again, like the fourth time, I know she is capable, and she will get the hang of that job. But right now, is she the candidate to be the director? It shouldn't be. She should be assistant director. But again, who's doing any thinking at Tom Rivers Town Hall? You have to look up the street and you say, hey, there's a big investigation going on up there. Nobody even thought about it. All right, we're going to break the commercial. You're watching the Tom Rivers Show. I'll be right back.
Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
We're back. Tom Rivers Show. Pal O Melia here. Chilly again. But at least the weekend, Saturday, today, it's good weather. And it's supposed to be good weather tomorrow, so that's good. But it's kind of chilly. During the week, it was like 29 degrees in the morning. Quick hits. I like quick hits. I can jump around a little bit. Twitter was recently purchased this week by Elon Musk. Business genius, you have to say. He is the founder of Tesla, SpaceX. He's got this company that has vacuum tubes under casinos to shuttle people in and out. He's a visionary. I'll go with that. He didn't invent the electric car. General Motors had it, back in the 80s. For that matter, back in the 20s there were electric cars. But he refined it. He stayed on it where GM gave up on it. And now it's made him a billionaire. He's then formed SpaceX, where just this week he took 4 or 5 astronauts up to the space station. That guy's name is going to go down in history. It'll be and there's always been these rich guys that control things and run things. The Rockefellers, J.P. Morgan, the Vanderbilts, all through history, these guys are there. But not with the mega billions they are now. Probably, I guess we looked at Rockefeller and his worth as today, maybe it is that. But, you got Elon Musk, you got Bezos, you got Zuckerberg, you got the guy that heads Alphabet, and they all get into the media. Google's in the media. Bezos owns the Washington Post and Amazon. Amazon controls most of your internet service. So Elon bought Twitter for $44 billion. That's what it be, $1 billion. Heads exploded across the nation and globally because Elon Musk is talking about bringing back free speech. And I agree. I think there's a lot of censorship on the internet, and we need free speech. Without free speech, we wouldn't know who the idiots are. So everybody should have the right to speak their mind. What I think Elon needs to do is those people who want to speak their minds and they want to criticize and drag down people or shame them or cancel them or whatever the case is, have your name attached to it. No more of these Twitter handles like 3 Card Monte or Jackie or something. Be able to figure out who that person is. Your name, in a case with us, it's Hudson Media Group. That's me. Somewhere we can track it down that you don't have these goofy names. So you want to give your 2 cents, you want to give your opinion, which you are entitled to. You should. We should also know who the hell you are when you do it. So hopefully, when he changes the algorithms for Twitter, hopefully he puts that in there. That we should be able to know who you are when that person is on Twitter and he's knocking something or whatever the case is, whoever they're dragging on or canceling, we should know who you are. No hiding, no anonymity. We need to know who you are. My opinion. Seaside Heights. Seaside Heights they love banning things in Seaside Heights, especially when it comes to the boardwalk. They have banned e-bikes and e-scooters from the boardwalk. First off, I'm not sure how e-bikes are legal without a license. These things can get moving pretty good. Scotty Kilmer, a guy I watch on YouTube, one of my car guys, he occasionally reviews a lot of tools and products, and then he was reviewing some of these e-bikes. And Scotty's making no bones about it. They say this won't go over 25 miles an hour. Scotty's saying, this will do like 40 miles an hour. These are motor vehicles. How the hell did they get past the Department of Transportation? Say, you don't need a license for this. You know, if somebody loses their license, just go get an e-bike, and you're scooting along at 40 miles an hour. When we were younger, they used to have mopeds. And you had to have a license plate on them and a driver's license to do that. Not on these e-bikes or these e-scooters. You know, it's a new world out there with the electric. But Seaside, in an effort to keep you safe, they have barred e-bikes. They already banned bicycles, so I guess we had to go and codify e-bikes, e-scooters from the boardwalk. Along with other things they've banned over the years, dogs in particular, bikes, no umbrellas on the beach because one time one flew up out of the sand and impaled itself into someone. No big coolers. You know, you're having a barbecue on the beach anymore. No boom boxes. I don't know who took the Wayback Machine to even get a boom box, but the idea was no loud music on the beach. No smoking. No, you cannot smoke a cigarette. There are no smoking areas anymore on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights. You cannot smoke a cigarette, nor can you light up a joint on the boardwalk, even though it is legal. Seaside Heights is another one of the communities that decided not to get in on the money train that will be legal marijuana. I don't know how locked in they are when they made these decisions. You know, they have to sit with it for 5 years or so. But I guarantee you, Toms River and Seaside Heights will eventually say, whoa, we're missing the boat here on money. But again, like in Jersey City, which is the homeland, because most people from Toms River are connected there, Jersey City somehow. Originally, Mayor Fulop was concerned about legal marijuana. He didn't want to be New York's weed man, but eventually embraced it. Now they're opening cannabis lounges. I know I'm off the track with banning things here in Seaside, but I can't imagine how a municipality wants to lose out on the money that is going to come in from legal marijuana. But one thing they did not ban in Seaside Heights on the boardwalk is drinking. It looks like you're going to be able to walk along with an open container of margarita or a Budweiser or whatever you want. That's okay. Seaside Park. I like throwing rocks at Seaside Park once in a while. They think they're so much better than Seaside Heights. Seaside Park has instituted an ordinance about light pollution. What light pollution? These are the people with motion-detected solar lamps. And the idea is if it goes on and it goes into your neighbor's backyard or in your neighbor's window, that's a violation. And I can actually appreciate that. But who the hell puts up a solar light that is illuminating your neighbor's house or a backyard? That is just being a bad neighbor. Do we need an ordinance? I guess they do in Seaside Park. But anywhere else, you usually have a good neighbor. You can talk to them about that and say, hey, your light's lighting up my bedroom window here. Also in Seaside Park, they have gotten a copy of Seaside Heights Need of Redevelopment Playbook. Seaside Heights has designated about 15 properties in Seaside Heights in area that need redevelopment. Unfortunately, my studio is in that area. Seaside Park has taken that playbook, and they're going after the Desert Palm Inn Motel. Now, I didn't know. I went to check out the Desert Palm Inn to look at it. That's a pretty good-looking motel unit, and it is huge. It's about a city block. Seaside Park has other ideas for their property, and they would like to obtain it through eminent domain. All right, I'm out of show. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.